Ah yes, Surveyor. The first tower to be added in almost an entire year. Hey, better late than never, right? Surveyor has a very unique way of attacking enemies. Instead of shooting a gun like 90% of other towers do, he just sits on his iPad all day. I wonder what he's watching.
Wrong. Million times worse. You're a tax cheat.
Since their only form of damage comes from the drones they summon, it's important that you play to their strengths. That all being said, how do you use Surveyor? As per usual, let's go over placement first. Now on paper, Surveyor has a pretty good range, but this blue circle doesn't actually show his attack range. It's a lie. It's just how far the drones are allowed to go, which have their own range. This is important to keep in mind if you want to find the best spots for Surveyor. Like, let's take this part of Skylands for example. You'd think that it'd be better to place it like this, where his range covers the most of the path, but it's actually better to put it a bit farther back, see? Look at that. Full advantage of their range. Okay, cool. Now you know where to place them, but when do you place them? Well, literally whenever you want. I'm serious. Surveyor is effective for the entire game, whether you're an early game normal or late game expert. The best way to use Surveyor in early game is by taking advantage of how good the base level is. The DPS ain't that bad, and it comes with flying detection for free. You can get a lot out of $700, which is important considering how little cash you have in early game. Heck, it can even outperform Sniper in a lot of cases. I would recommend hitting the placement cap limit before buying any upgrades. Once you hit mid-game though, you better start buying upgrades. The level 3 upgrades on both paths go incredibly hard. Bottom path is a really effective way to deal with flying enemies, although it's a little pricey. What's fully worth the price though is top path. The 10% damage buff that the radar drone gives is really good on towers like Electricizer that already do a bunch of damage per shot. I should also mention that, kinda like with Mechanic, Surveyor doesn't spawn in upgraded drones until the old ones have already despawned, so these upgrades aren't the best if you need more DPS in a pinch. In late game, you can increase this damage buff to 20%, which, if you don't think is impressive, just read all this math on your screen. This is really the main thing that carries Surveyor's use in late game. I mean, cryo drones are cool, and so are bomber drones, but honestly, ever since they removed Archangel and Kuj Blitz from expert mode, flying detection is just not that big of a deal in late game. I mean, technically Kuj Blitz spawns in wave 39, but at that point you can't afford Bliss of Finality, so who cares? Wait, what was I talking about? Oh, right, I remember. I was talking about when towers work well with Surveyor, of course. Well, it's a good idea to have a couple of solid early game defenders like snipers or recon bases because of how slow drones can be. It's also a really good idea to bring Electricizers and Light Beamers just because of how much they benefit from top path damage buffs. Once again, math on screen. Finally, let's go over how you get Surveyor. In order to obtain Surveyor, you have to be Chapter 4 of the Cold Construct event. This can be done... Wait a minute. Oh. Right. So I might have been a little bit late on this video. Whatever. Since the Cold Construct event has ended, you can't actually get this tower at the moment, but don't worry. It'll be back in December. Well, whenever it is December again, there's usually a channel in the Terra Blitz Discord server called Event Team Creation. This is where you can find some great teammates to do the event with. They'll also usually post whatever strategy they're using alongside their private server link, so you get a team of players and a strategy all in one. Only $4.99 plus shipping and handling at your local market. Before we finish today's scheduled programming, let's go over the comment of the week. Take it away, Ma.
This week's question is brought to you by Mini Awesome. I think bottom path light beamer should be placed a bit at the back compared to like Vulcans because their DPS is consistently higher against tankier enemies which will likely get past the front defense. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, well said. Most maps have better placement in the middle too, so that's 100% right. I honestly wish I mentioned that in my light beamer video. Good job, gamer! I'm putting this comment on the wall of fame. Alright, well, that's it for today, gamers. My next video will be a theory going over why I think the whole game is actually a dream being had by the Slinger. Okay, bye, I love you all.